Sutra number 74. Vado
vado
navalambyah.
navalambyah.
Narad ji says, in this path of devotion, do not get into arguments. It's very tempting because the intellect likes to be stimulated. However, the intellect is material and this is the divine path. Our arguments cannot reach God. The Kathopanishad states, Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. Your tark means argument. God is not subject to your arguments and logic. Arguments can indicate the way. However, they cannot take you to the goal. That is why the saints, they do help us try and understand, but they never get into arguments. They short circuit because they know arguments will lead nowhere. Ram Krishna Paramahans was a God-realized saint. In his time, there was a great scholar living in Kolkata called Keshav Chandra. He was the head of the Brahmo Samaj. The Brahmo Samaj was a social reform movement during the time of the Britishers in India. So big intellectuals were members of it. So Keshav Chandra was one of those phenomenal intellectuals. It was said nobody in Asia could defeat him in arguments. However, he would be very irritated that nobody is interested in listening to him and thousands of people are going to Ramakrishna Paramahans in Dakshineshwar. So he sent a message to Ramakrishna Paramahans, I wish to engage in tark, in debate, arguments with you. When that message came to Ramakrishna Paramahans, his disciples said, Guruji, just stay away from him. He is a very dangerous person. Ramakrishna Paramahans said, no, call him. So he was keeping on, he would peep out of his door, has Keshav Chandra come as yet? He was anxious for his arrival. Finally, when Keshav Chandra came, Ramakrishna Paramahans embraced him. Come, come, Keshav, I've been waiting for you for so long. I've heard so much about your arguments. Come on, argue. Now Keshav Chandra forgot one thing, that arguments requires two people. How can one person keep on arguing? So Ramakrishna Paramahans said, argue. Keshav Chandra, he started off. There is no God. Ramakrishna Paramahans said, wow, what an amazing statement. I am overjoyed to hear it. He gave him another hug. Keshav Chandra was further astonished. So he said, if you say that God is the personality who has made this world, I ask, who has made God? Ramakrishna Paramahans said, now you have outdone your own self. I can't believe what I'm hearing. He gave him another hug. So Keshav Chandra's argument started becoming weaker and weaker. Finally, Keshav Chandra said, what kind of personality are you? You're not arguing with me. Ramakrishna Paramahans said, I am arguing, you're not understanding. Keshav Chandra said, what do you mean? I mean, for me, you are the proof of God. You have this phenomenal intellect. When I observe The power of your intellect, I think, such an amazing machine. Who has made this? That must be God. So, arguments can show us the way, but they cannot take us all the way. The goal of questioning, the goal of discussion is to enhance our faith. So it must be directed in that direction. Otherwise, it just becomes a matter of intellectual entertainment. That is why the saints, they help us with our doubts, but they see that it's going in the direction of our increasing faith. Swami Chinmayanand recites his history, his life history. So he was the editor of National Herald newspaper in Lucknow. And he went to interview Swami Shivanand in Rishikesh. So when he reached their ashram, he said, I wish to interview Swami Shivanand. I have got 3 questions I wish to ask him. Swami Shivanand said, tell him that I will not give him audience today. Let him wait 3 days. So Swami Chinmayanand stayed there for 3 days. By the end of 3 days, his questions had increased to 30. So Swami Shivanand said, tell him to wait 1 more week. I'm pretty busy with the project. Now in that 1 week, his questions increased to 200. He made him wait another week, his questions reached 700. He still did not give him darshan another 3 days. Now his questions reduced back to 100. And finally, when he gave him darshan, he said, what is it you wish to ask? He did not have any questions. So, questions arise from ignorance. One teacher, he was writing things on the board and then he was erasing them. One student was just looking, staring at the board. The teacher said, why are you looking so intently? He said, I am wondering, where do these figures go when you erase them? So questions arise from ignorance. We help clarify those to some extent to enhance our faith. But they will not lead all the way. The real knowledge is that which will come from within. That is called realized knowledge. First, we receive this theoretical knowledge. In accordance with that, we practice sadhana. And as a result of the sadhana, as we enhance our surrender and attach our mind to God, we get realization from within. That then dispels our doubts. So, we must always be careful not to get diverted in unnecessary argumentation. This is a very subtle defect. Swamiji has spent 12 days in Houston explaining it to you. Everything has become clear. You say, yes, Swamiji, I have understood it all. Now he is gone. He is going to come back after many months. In the meantime, you've created a doubt. Like this? Why like this? If like this, then how? Now you wait with that doubt. All the sadhana you could have done, it has stopped. I've got a doubt what to do. So these doubts are so dangerous. They have the power of halting your sadhana right there. Be careful not to bring unnecessary doubts to your mind. Move from faith to faith and go ahead. That is the goal. Before God realization, questions will always remain. The point is how much you have understood. You utilize that. Have you understood a few things? Yes, Swamiji, but I have those doubts. All right. You have understood so many other things. Why don't you focus on that? You focus on utilizing what you have understood. And you will then understand more. So you will go from understanding to understanding, not from doubt to doubt. That is the way of enlightenment. So this argumentation is the ascending process of knowledge. That is the process of knowledge used by material science. One scientist, he expands the frontiers of knowledge to this point. And the next scientist expands it further. The knowledge is continuously ascending. They hope that one day they will know it all. I still remember when I was in college, there was a news that a particular scientist has made the encyclopedia of ignorance. In other words, he made a complete list of all that human beings do not know. So he said, this is the encyclopedia of ignorance, and as we progress, this encyclopedia will keep shrinking. Now, do you think it has kept shrinking?
No.
The more we know, the more we realize what we do not know. And somebody who doesn't know anything, he doesn't even know what he doesn't know, so he thinks he knows everything. So, the ascending process of knowledge is what is being used in the material world. Newton thought that he knew everything, he had it perfectly. And then Einstein made corrections and the quantum theory made further corrections. So presently we think, all right, what science knows today is correct. But the way it has kept on progressing a few decades further, it's possible all these theories may get overturned. Now for divine knowledge, we do not use this ascending process. We use the descending process. In other words, we get knowledge from authority. And there is no scope for doubt. There is no need for experimentation. Let me see, let me not see. Our source of knowledge is perfect. When we have that faith, we've tested out a little bit of it, we know it's all perfect. Like women, when they cook the rice, they check one grain. Yes, the whole pot is cooked. They don't need to check every grain. Right? So this descending process, if you once have faith, yes, then you have faith in the whole thing. So the way of receiving divine knowledge is in the descending process. How? The authority is the Vedas that are manifested by God. They are not written by a human being. If a human being had written, there would be scope for doubt. Similarly, the meaning of the Vedas is being explained by the Guru. So the Guru is the God-realized personality. So because we have got that knowledge by the medium of God through his scriptures and the Guru, now you don't need to experiment to figure out. You accept it all. Yes, this is it. And now you focus on implementing it, on making it practical. It's so amazing, the Bhagavad Gita, 5,000 years have gone by. Even today, the biggest intellectuals are astonished at the philosophical depth in that one scripture. So we don't need to come out with new philosophies and new theories. It is all there. We just need to access this theoretical knowledge and then focus on implementing it. That is why knowledge is received through the Guru. All our scriptures say that you need a Guru. Swami Vivekananda said, the living secrets must be passed down from master to disciple in every science, much more so in spiritual science. Why much more so in spiritual science? Because it is not presently perceptible. You don't have experience of it right now. You have not perceived the soul. So you need a guru who can reveal this knowledge to you. So the subject of the guru has previously been emphasized in detail by Narad ji. We had covered that in the previous retreat. Sutras, aphorisms 38 to 42. Narad ji has said there, Mukhyatastu mahat kripayaiva bhagavat kripa leshadva. He says, this bhakti I am talking to you about will be attained primarily by the grace of the Guru and secondarily by the grace of God. God will bestow His grace and He will lead you to the Guru. And then the Guru will bestow His grace. He will give you this knowledge. He will help you in sadhana. He will help you get realization. And He will help you meet God. That is why our scriptures abound with this. Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavatam, he says, Naisham matistav durukramaghrim sprishatyanartha pagamo yadartha mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchananam navrinitayavat. He says that unless you bathe yourself in the dust of the lotus feet of the Guru, you will not have any spiritual attainment. So bathing yourself in the dust means surrendering your intellect to that Guru. So, Narad ji says in this sutra that in bhakti, do not get into arguments. Why? He says further now in the next sutra. 75. Bahulyavakashadaniyatavachcha. Narad ji says arguments are unending. They go on and on and on. Like for example, Hegel, he is considered the father of dialectics. He emphasized this process of dialectics in philosophy. Dialectics is presenting two opposing arguments and then reconciling them to get the answer. So Hegel would go on like this. There are two people walking by the side of a stream. One of them is dirty, one of them is clean. Which of them will bathe in the stream? So you will say, the person who is dirty, he will bathe in the stream. Hegel will say no, because he is used to being dirty. He does not need to. The person who is clean is used to being clean. He is the one who will go and bathe in the stream. So then he asks again, all right, two people are walking by the side of a stream, one is dirty and one is clean. Who will bathe in it? You say the person who is clean? No, the person who is clean, he is already clean. He does not need to clean himself. It is the person who is dirty who will bathe. So his arguments would go on and on and on.